everyone, welcome to Reasons for Roots. My name's Lauren, and I'm so glad that you decided to spend just a small part of your day with me. So today I'm showing you some of the curriculum that I bought for us to use this year, but it didn't quite pan out. Either we started it and didn't finish it, or we never really got into it at all. So these are 5 curriculums that I bought but did not use. So we all know how it is as homeschool moms when we are choosing curriculum for the next year. We are enthusiastic, we're excited, we maybe want to try something new, and especially if you go to a convention, then you are just an overload by all the curriculum that you can see and touch, and you're just overwhelmed by possibilities. There are so many wonderful choices for us to use. And so I found myself in this situation last year when I went to convention. I ended up buying things that I had not originally planned to use, and most of those are in my 5 curriculums that I did not use this year. So I need to throw a little disclaimer out there that just because I didn't use it doesn't mean it's not a good curriculum. Just because it's in this top 5 curriculum that I did not use this year doesn't mean I will not ever use it. I think everything I'm going to show you is very solid. It just did not fit us and fit the needs for our homeschool this year. Okay, so the first one was one that I was super excited about and that I think is a great, solid curriculum. And that is reading from Christian Light Education. So I had bought Reading 5 for my daughter. With Reading 5, you get the reader, you get 5 light units or little booklets as they call them. As you see, we made it through 1, and I decided it just was not worth the effort it was taking on my part and her part, because she was a little ahead. I felt like she really could have been in reading 6. So it was just a little too easy for her. And just to be honest, we're not very traditional homeschoolers. That used to be our thing, was traditional school. We have grown, and no longer are we bound to like answering questions and filling in blanks. So my daughter kind of got bored with the whole filling in the blanks and answering so many questions, because this is a very traditional program. It's very thorough and it's wonderful. I think it's great. If I was more of a traditional homeschooler or traditional schooler, then this would fit perfectly. If you were wanting your child to be pretty independent with a reading program, this is great. It does come with the teacher's guide, and there are some things that you are to help your student with, but I would say pretty much that this is a very independent reading program. And like I said, I think it's a great program, but it just did not fit us for this year. So it was one that I decided to shelf pretty early on, and we just let her read and narrate from whatever literature books she was reading at that time. So another one of her curriculums that I bought at conference was Using Language Well. So we are pretty big grammar fanatics around here. We spend a lot of time on grammar and writing and literature. And so I thought this would be a great supplement to Rod and Staff. Not that Rod and Staff needs a supplement, but what I had planned was on the days she did reading, she would also do Using Language Well, and I would alternate those days between Rod and Staff, reading, and Using Language Well, and we would just go through a loop. That's what I had in mind. Well, it just was a little, I realized I had made it harder on myself and on her than it had to be. So we just stuck with rod and staff, and we shelved the reading because she was getting plenty of reading from doing more Charlotte Mason curriculum like Heart of Dakota. And I found that this, while it is a good grammar program, I would say it's good. I wouldn't say it was thorough, and I wouldn't say it is something that I would use as a sole grammar program in our homeschool. But I put a lot of emphasis on grammar. You might not see that need. This is a very gentle approach to grammar. So for reinforcement, I thought it was great. We just didn't need it, so we just cut it out. With using language well, you have a lesson, and you will use it along with spelling wisdom. Now, I did love spelling wisdom for her dictation, and we did use spelling wisdom. But you would take the passage from spelling wisdom, and then you would break it down in your lesson, in your lessons for language. Okay, so I bought this book as well as the teacher's guide, and you would also have to have spelling wisdom to using language well. But like I said, I think it's a good grammar program if you're wanting a more gentle approach, or maybe you just want something to supplement some grammar. This would be great. I actually have a friend that, I referred this program to because I knew that's exactly what she was looking for, a more laid-back grammar approach. So if that's what you're looking for, this is great. It just didn't fit our needs, and it was one of those things that I added in that just wasn't necessary. You know what I mean? It just wasn't necessary, so we shelved it as well. So as far as high school goes, most of our high school curriculum worked really well, and I stuck with almost everything I chose for my high schoolers except for writing strands. I sat down last night to really think why I didn't like writing strands. I don't even know why I didn't like it. I just didn't like it. I didn't think it was thorough enough. I thought it was too gentle. And again, my boys are probably a little ahead of this. So I got advanced 1 for my high schoolers. And this is more of a writing and literature program. So you go through literary devices with this program. We already had a literature curriculum for master books, and it also included a lot of writing. So I just shelved writing strands and just used master books literature for their writing and their literature. Okay, now to my little guy. So with him, he turned 5 in September, and I knew I wanted to start slowly introducing phonics and reading to him. He does have autism and ADHD. So I knew it was going to take maybe some trial and error on finding a program that worked best for him. And that's exactly what happened. And that's why I bought several reading programs or phonics programs, was just to try and see what worked best for him. So we tried Foundations Phonics, and to be honest, he just was not ready for Foundations Phonics. It's more of a just worksheet type material, but it doesn't give a lot of activities. So he likes workbooks. If he's circling or marking out or writing, he likes to use his pencil. And so it just didn't have enough activities really for phonics. We only did like 3 lessons before I saw he just was not ready. So I shelved Foundations Phonics, not because it's a bad program, not because it's not a good phonics program, because I saw that 1, he wasn't ready, and 2, I wasn't real sure if it was going to work well for him. But this is one that I'm keeping. Maybe we'll pull it out this year for his first grade-ish year, and we may pull this back out later. But this is one I just shelved mainly because He just was not ready for this. We did the Master Books Kindergarten program, and he loved it, did well with it. He just wasn't quite ready to move on to phonics, okay? I also had bought the Delightful Reading Level 2. Now that I have gotten into this is from Simply Charlotte Mason. I would say that he should have been in level 1. I should have placed him in level 1 just to start from scratch almost with him if I wanted to use this program. So with this, you are building words and you are learning to read that way. So he knew his letter sounds. He knows his letter sounds. So I thought this would be a good place. This is a good place, I think, for him this coming up school year. So I think we're going to add this in to Happy Cheetah Reading, just as kind of a fun supplement, because I love the activities. I love everything that's involved in this. He just was not quite ready, and he did not have a grasp on blending and really word building itself just yet. And he's only 5, so that was fine. I decided I will put this up and I will save it till he is 6, and we will try it again and use some parts of it. So this is a very fun, hands-on reading curriculum, but I'm going to supplement it with Happy Cheetah for 1st grade. So we're saving this, not throwing it away, not discarding it, simply because he was not ready for this. Okay, so that's it. That's 5 curriculum that I bought for last school year and I did not use. So leave me a comment below. Please tell me I'm not the only one who buys curriculum and does not use it. What are some things you bought and not used?